Got to run over here and check on these sheep, make sure they're all still here. There's nobody outside the fence like there were yesterday. Looks like everybody's there, so that's good. Come on, chickens. Just remembering how hot it was yesterday. And granted, we spent most of the day in the sun, but I was like, couldn't get enough water yesterday, so definitely want to make sure all the animals have lots of water today. There's going to be another cooker. So just get this garden hose strung over to the sheep pen and top them up. And I think then run over to the pigs and give them a little bit more. Everybody should be good for the day. Over here at the pig pen, just gonna get these kids some water. Super important that pigs have plenty of water, especially in these summer months, because pigs cannot sweat, believe it or not. So we've got this big rubber tire with a little tub in it, and that's where they can slop around in. And then with their feed too, you can see, make like a porridge mix, and we just fill it full of water, and they can slurp away at that throughout the day. So just came out of the chicken house, got breakfast. Noticed a couple of things in there. I'm gonna have to make some repairs to some of the nesting boxes. Every once in a while, they try and roost in there, and then from time to time, I guess two try to roost in one box at one time. Turns into a bit of a fight, so they've knocked down one of the separating walls between one roost and another, or one nesting box and another. So we gotta fix that up. The other thing, with them roosting in there, they like to poop in there. So I guess we gotta clean all that out. We won't get shoveled out into the yard. We'll just drop it onto the floor of the chicken house, and it can dry up and become part of that deep bedding mix. And then we'll just put fresh pine shavings in the nesting boxes for them. Well, got some more breakfast. Pretty happy about that. You know, I don't think there's a Facebook group about chickens that I'm not actually a part of. And there was a couple of things that I noticed this morning when I logged on that kind of got me thinking. So one of the questions was, because there's lots of new folks getting into chickens this year, right? And they're always like trying to learn more. And it's a good way to share information, but try and share information that's accurate. So when somebody says, how much will a chicken eat? And you reply with, well, it depends on the breed of the chicken. That's kind of a disservice. I mean, you could still give them kind of a roundabout number. So for us, we feed about a 1/4 pound a day per bird. And again, you know, so we've got a leghorn down here that's going to eat a little bit less than maybe one of the big fat Orpingtons, wherever they're probably out back. Anyways, so they'll eat a little bit more than, and the Americanas, they're kind of in the middle. But kind of rule of thumb, about a 1/4 pound a day. And then the rest, they can just scavenge and forage for throughout the summertime. Now, when you're feeding throughout the winter, you're going to want to increase that amount to probably about 1/3 of a pound, maybe a little bit more, again, depending on what the temperature is doing. If you're getting up to 1/2 pound, you're probably just wasting feed. Now, speaking of wasting feed, there was also a gentleman on there, and I've seen a lot of this, these no waste feeders. There's no such thing as a no waste feeder, sorry to tell you. So the premise here is that you can purchase a 25 kg or a 50 kg bag of chicken feed and dump it, the entire thing, into the feeder, set it and forget it, and walk away, and the chickens won't waste any. So we have some of these style feeders. Most people hate these things. They're pretty cheap, but they were the first thing we bought when we first got into chickens. Didn't really know a lot about what we were doing. If I were to go back and do it all over again, I probably wouldn't buy these. But I know I certainly wouldn't go and pay, $75 or $100, $125 for some of these no waste feeders that are out there, and it's basically just, it's exactly like we have for the pig bulk feeder. It's just a cone, an inverted cone with a little trough at the bottom. And honestly, if the chickens want to like grab a mouthful and spit it out, and grab a mouthful and spit it out, and grab a mouthful and spit it out, they can waste all the feed they want, because the waste comes from the bird itself. It doesn't come from the feeder. So the same is true for our pigs. So we have a bulk feeder in there, and the intent isn't to use that bulk feeder every single day. That's just there for, because they get fed morning and night. So if throughout the day they run out of that food and they want a little bit of snack, they can go to that. So they've never run out of food. Or if we go away on the weekend or something like that, and we're away all day and we get home late, we know they've got food. the intent isn't to use that bulk feeder, or in this case with the chickens, as a daily, you know, animal management process. So there's a lot of processes you can integrate into your homestead, into your farm, that are efficient. For instance, you know, growing your own food, rotational grazing, using chickens and pigs to dig up your garden and control weeds and, you know, build soil and do all these things to reduce your inputs. But in the process of reducing your inputs, what you never want to do is reduce your animal husbandry. Animal husbandry is something where, I mean, you're basically providing everything your animals need and building a relationship with them so that they have the very best, you know, care and keeping. They have a healthy, happy upbringing. So I guess think of it this way. If you want to raise good kids, you're not just going to throw a box of Cheerios at them and expect them to turn out and be decent human beings. The same is true with your animals. If you want to be able to have animals that you can handle, have good temperament, and that you're able to move around and do things with, you're going to want to work with them every single day. So don't throw, you know, 25 kgs of food at them and then don't come and see them for a week or a month or however long that lasts, right? The other question that comes up with the amount that gets fed in a day is, okay, so if I'm feeding a 1/4 pound a day during summertime, why do I need to increase that feed during the wintertime? Well, if you're a chicken and, I mean, you got like an open salad bar all summer long, I'm gonna go to the salad bar and then I'm not gonna be as hungry for the grain, right? So over the winter months, the salad bar is covered by, you know, 6, 12 inches, 14 inches, however much snow. They can't get to that salad bar. It's just not there anymore. So we have to increase the grain ration a little bit just to make up for it, because their feed requirements don't change, right? It doesn't matter if they're laying, if they're molting, if it's hot out, if it's cold out. Feed requirements stay the same throughout the year. Okay, so it's no secret that we choose to ferment our feed, just, you know, to reduce feed costs, to reduce feed waste, to unlock a lot of nutrients in our feed. You know, that might work for you, that might not work for you. But you can go back, you can check. I'll put a couple of links actually down below for some of the videos where I discuss that stuff. Check it out. If it works for you, that's fantastic. If not, keep doing you. There's no issue with that at all. But, you know, if you are struggling with a couple of things, don't be scared to try something new, right? That's the whole premise of what we're doing, is we observe and we interact. So if we're trying plan A and plan A isn't working, don't keep doing plan A twice as hard, because it's clearly not working. Like, try plan B. There's lots of other options in the alphabet. Anyhow, I got to get going here, so I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.